In my recent real-world towing test, I pulled 2 travel trailers over exactly the same route with the same car. The trailers were almost identical in weight, but this trailer, a Bowlus, was 46% more efficient, translating into roughly 1 extra hour of drive time between stops to refuel or recharge. So, how can 2 trailers with similar space and almost exactly the same weight produce such dramatically different results? To find out, I spoke to Geneva Long, the CEO of Bowlus, about the thinking behind this very unusual design.
The history of Bowlus is really fascinating. It's over 95 years old. Holly Bowlus was a builder of sailplanes, first in the 1930s, and of course those were built out of aluminum exactly the same way. And in the 1930s, Holly Bowlus designed and built the first all-aluminum travel trailer. The shape and profile was inspired by the aircraft history that Holly Bowlus had and the sailplanes that he designed. And of course, that shape also happens to be extraordinarily aerodynamic. The most important to aerodynamics is going to be your tow vehicle, because that's out front, that's going to bear the brunt of everything. When we look straight down the Bowlus, we'll notice that it's the same width as your tow vehicle. And so what that means is parts of the trailer body are not hanging outside of that tow vehicle. It's nice from a performance perspective because it means you don't need any extension mirrors. You can just use your regular mirrors. And then it also means that the exposed front surface area of the Bowlus is very minimal because you have your tow vehicle, of course, in front, and that's going to come up from about here up. And so the actual exposed front surface area of the Bowlus is very minimal.
I've never seen a trailer with a door at the front. That's unique.
It is an important part of the design for what makes a Bowlus a Bowlus. And so the 1930s Bowluses also had the door on the front. We see it as the ultimate shape because it allows you to have a separate bedroom, an ensuite bathroom, a separate living room, all of which are very unique to be able to have on a 25-foot trailer. But that door on the front is unique because it's curved both ways. So it's curved port to starboard, if you will, as well as top to bottom, which allows it to be very low wind resistance. And because of the design of the Bowlus, we also have a unique step-in frame design, which makes it able to have actually a lower exterior profile, but still have a full 6'4" height inside while having really great ground clearance.
So, the unusual door is not simply a styling feature, it allows the entire trailer to sit lower without sacrificing headroom inside. And what immediately strikes me is it's curvy almost everywhere. There's curves. But also on the roof, yes, you have the vents open right now, but there's really nothing on the roof that's blocking that flow of air, and that matters, I guess.
Yes, it does. So obviously the vents would be closed, like you said, while you're towing. We have solar panels up there, and we also have a Starlink dish up there as well. That is an option, the Starlink, so if you didn't want that, you can always delete it. But we don't have an air conditioner up above, and so that would be found on most RVs. Again, we want to preserve that aerodynamic. We want it to be having as low drag as possible, and all of that accomplishes that. Even for our solar decision, our solar panels are fitted to the curve of the Bowlus roof, which is also very important. Everything we do is for aerodynamics, lightweight, and quality. And so when we are designing any new features in the Bowlus, we're weighing every single thing because it all comes back to that combination of weight and aerodynamics.
One of the things that people probably don't realize immediately is that actually the back of your trailer really matters. So what are we looking at here?
So we have that beautiful tail, we call it here, which comes to a point. All of that air is coming off the sides and then coming together. So it's coming off the Bowlus very easily, which is also important. Sometimes we have people who say, shouldn't this be the front and the other side be the back? And I think that comes from people who are used to seeing planes with a pointed front. We also have the tow vehicle in front of us, and so we're wanting that limited front surface area as being the most important thing for the wind to hit first. At the front, the tow vehicle has already displaced much of the air. At the back, the tapered body helps the airflow come back together more gradually, rather than leaving the large turbulent wake created by a flat-ended trailer. But the Bowlus isn't just aerodynamic, it's also lightweight, and a key part of that is, unlike most conventional travel trailers, it's not built on top of a big, heavy steel frame. The Bowlus's strength actually comes from the exterior panels. So think of it a little bit like an exoskeleton, if you will. And it's of course the same way that race cars and planes are built, but that exterior material forms the strength rather than the frame providing the strength, which is fabulous for lightweight reasons. But what does a RV look like when you drive it all day? Do you want to be able to accelerate quickly? You want to be able to stop quickly? You want to be able to change lanes? You have the goal of being able to want to forget your towing. Of course, not so far as it's still safe, but you don't want it to be tiresome. And even something with a Bowlus makes that really easy. The traditional wind challenges of driving a flat-sided RV should not be understated, especially in windier locations. The flat side of the Bowlus is about 2 feet. And so it's just a very different driving experience with crosswinds, with all of that. So there's that story of efficiency for efficiency, and that there's a lot of value to that, but there's also that driving experience.
Bowlus trailers can weigh as little as 2,800 pounds, allowing them to be towed not just by trucks, but many mid-size SUVs. But it's not just the overall weight that matters, but how much weight sits on the tow hitch.
This has just a low tongue weight. And so the tongue weight's usually between 200 to 400 pounds, maybe a little bit higher on our Endless Highways Frontier Edition series, but that means that you can actually just take the handle and move it around by yourself on level ground. And that just really changes the whole experience. You never have to back up exactly under the ball or, line up everything. And then you'll also notice no weight equalization hitch. The Bowlus is very well balanced. And so really easy to hitch up. You're just talking, a 2-inch ball here, safety cables, breakaway switch, and of course the 7-pin, and that's it.
There's one other cool thing I noticed. What is this little guy here? There's one on each wheel, right?
That's correct. So this is called Aero Move. This is a motor system that's run with a handheld remote. Both motors engage directly against the wheels. And then with your lithium battery, you can move the trailer forwards, backwards, rotate it as well. Really great for parking it in a campsite without ever having to back up. Really great for bringing it to your tow vehicle as well. It means that, you never need a spotter. If you get to your campsite in the middle of the night and there's a big rock or a big tree, it's no sweat. Just one of those other things that we've added to make this experience really easy and fun.
That technology is especially helpful if you're camping somewhere remote, as it makes the Bowlus really easy to maneuver.
The Bowlus is meant to go off-grid, so that means that we're not needing to go to campgrounds or RV parks that have shore power. Every Bowlus, we get our fully lithium system, and we've been doing that since 2016. And we have 19 kilowatt hours in the Endless Highways Frontier Edition. Every Bowlus starts at least 4 kilowatt hours of lithium iron phosphate batteries. And we also have the option in our power packages to add the 400 watts of aero solar. So that's that aerodynamic solar on the roof. We're designing the whole system holistically. So the fridge is efficient, 12-volt fridge meant to go off grid for a long period of time. The air conditioner can run off the battery too for up to 36 hours in the Frontier Edition. And the solar is enough to regenerate on a sunny day all of your regular daily use. So fridge, lights, water pump, Starlink, those types of items, almost reserving the battery for your air conditioning use. Another fun fact for the electrical system is that everything can run on 15 amp.
So what you're saying is if I don't have access to regular 30 amp shore power, I can plug it into any 15 amp outlet. Or you can even plug it into my car with the Kia EV9, which actually has vehicle to load, V2L, rated at 15 amps.
The Bowlus wasn't 46% more efficient because of one magic feature.
It's all of it, right? It's the whole package together.
Its narrow body, low profile, curved front, clean roof, tapered tail, enclosed underside, and structural aluminium shell all work together.
Everything we do is for aerodynamics, lightweight, and quality.
Many of those ideas date back to Holly Bowlus and his experience building sailplanes nearly a century ago. But in my real-world test, they made a very modern difference, considerably more range from an electric tow vehicle. To see the full comparison, including both trailers, the route, the conditions, and the complete results, you can watch that video next. Or if you'd like to see more of my camping trips towing with an EV, click here. Thank you for watching. My name is Scott, and this is my channel, Scott Explains.